Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video will be on integration, which is a constituent of higher level maths and is the topic that directly follows derivation. So right after derivation we have integration, and yeah, this is a part of higher level maths. And yeah, just before I start the topic on integration, just like to give you a few updates on the website. I created a few categories. If you scroll down my page, right at the bottom menu, the footer, you will see a part of the footer on categories. So in the categories, I've sorted out my posts. So I've made categories like one on higher level maths, another category is year 9 maths, another category is learn the basic maths, the other one is tips and tricks. So these categories will be found at the bottom of the page. So if you want to classify all the posts and you want to see which topic falls under which one, so let's say you're a year 9 student, you could click the category year 9 maths and you will see all the posts which are year 9 topics. If you want to learn higher level maths like derivation or integration, just click the category higher level maths and you will find all the topics on higher level maths. So I've been classifying my posts to make it easier for you guys. And more on the live telecast I was talking about, yeah, that will be happening somewhere at the end of this month. I'll keep you notified. Yeah, so let's go on to integration. Thank you. So basically, what is integration? Integration is the exact opposite of derivation. When we derivate a function, let's just go on a review. Okay, so sorry, let's leave the derivative sign. Let's say y equals 2x squared, and we want the derivative version. I taught you about the apostrophe. So to derivate, as you've seen in my previous videos, multiply the 2 and the 2, you get a 4. X2 minus 1, x, just x. That's the derivative version. So that is the exact opposite. Okay, that what we have just seen is derivation. Okay, so now let's get rid of all of this and let me show you what integration is. So let's say y equals 4x. When you integrate this function, you have to think about how the question will be, because my way of looking at integration is that it's the opposite of derivation, and the answer you get, like the question they give is the answer, and you have to find the question of it. So what derivative will give you 4x? Okay, that's exactly how you need to view this thing. So let's say y equals 4x, and in your exam they tell you to integrate y equals 4x. What you have to do is to ask yourself what function, the derivative, will give you y equals 4x, will give you 4x. And that is, so the integrated version of this is 2x squared, because if you derivate 2x squared, you will get 4x. So in integration, they will give you the answer to the derivation, and you have to find the question. So let's say they give you something like y equals 5x cubed and ask you to integrate this function. You have to ask yourself what function derivative will give you 5x cubed. Okay, in this case it's actually, what is it, at 4, 5 over 4 x 4. It's a version of it. So to integrate basic values, I need to introduce to you guys the basic sign for integration. This is the basic sign for integration. I will teach you on a much more complex version of this kind of integration later, but we'll look at the basics over here first. That is the sign for integration, and they will give you the question right after that. So it's here, 5x cubed, and they give you this question and ask you to answer it. Just note that as soon as you see this kind of long liney thing, don't get too scared. It's nothing. It's just telling you that the function has not been integrated yet, and they ask you to integrate this function. So what you have to do is, what function derivative will give you this answer? The answer is 5x cubed. You have to ask yourself what function derivative will give you 5x cubed. And to integrate, these are the steps. First, add 1 to the exponent. Just add 1 to the exponent. 3 plus 1 equals 4, okay? And then find out how to get 5 with a 4 on top. Let's find, yes, 5x, add 1 on top, okay? You get 5x 4. To integrate, now we don't want, let's say we have 5x4, and they ask us to integrate, derivate this. We will get 20x cube, which is not what we want. We want 5x cube. So we have to change it in such a way that the answer is 5x cube. So once we add 1, because when we're derivating, as I've told you, we need to minus 1 from the exponent. So to be on the so to make way for derivation, we need to add 1 to the exponent. So 3 plus 1 gives you 4, and in order for us to get the number 5 again from the derivation, we need to add over 4. So 5 over 4 x to the power of 4. So when 5 over 4 multiplied by 4, we get 5, and 4 minus 1 it gives you 3. So let's say, to test your answer to see whether it's correct, 5 over 4 x to the power of 4, they tell you to derivate it. Okay, so 5 over 4 multiplied by 4 gives you 5, and x to the power of 4, we minus 1 gives you 3. There we go, we got the answer 5x cubed, which means your answer is correct. So we're actually looking, the basics of integration is the value they give you, the function they give you, is the answer of the derivation of another function. So you have to ask yourself, what function derivated will give you this function, and that is how you integrate it. Okay, so step number 1, to recap, add 1 to your exponent, 5x, 3 plus 1, so that's 5x to the power of 4. And now, to make sure the value in front, the value that accompanies the algebraic expression, we need to make it 5, and therefore we need to have it 5 over 4, x to the power of 4. So when the 4 and 4 multiply, you can easily cut off the 4, and you will get 5 as the main value, with x, 4 minus 1 gives you 3, and that's the answer. I hope you understand what I'm saying, but if you don't, and if you're quite young and you don't understand this, it's okay, because integration is quite a high level of maths, and it will take time to understand. So for you guys to, for me to make sure you guys understand, I'm actually going to go to a few more functions. And this is another question we can try to answer. Y equals 3x cubed, okay? And they ask us to integrate it. So the first step, use the integration sign, copy down the function to the x cube, and add the dx to the side, so you know that has not been integrated yet. Okay, to x cube. So now we need to integrate the function 3x cube. Just ignore the dx. So now, what function derivated will give you 3x cube? So first, as I told you, add 1 to the exponent. So x 3 plus 1, we get x4, okay? So now we need to add 3 over 4, x to the power of 4, because we need to cut off the 4 and the 4, because in the answer we don't want 3 over 4, we only want 3. So to cut off the 2, we'll have to accommodate the front value to change back into a 3. And that we need to change the front value into a fraction, so the exponent and the fraction's denominator will get cut off, and we'll only be left with the numerator. So 3 over 4, x to the power of 4. To test this, we will have to derivate this function, and if you have done the correct working and you have found the correct answer, your answer will be 3x cubed. So now let's try. 4 times 4 gives you, get cuts off, so it's only a 3 there. X 4 minus 1 equals 3x cubed. Yay, we are correct. So there we go. Now let's try something a bit harder. There is no value accompanying in front. It's only a x square. And they ask us to no, not x squared. Let's try something else. Let's just try y equals 1. It's quite easy, and they ask us to integrate this. 1 dx equals x. Okay, well, what derivative gives you 1? Since we are integrating with respect to x, dx means respect with x, we are using the algebraic expression x. And since, as I mentioned many times in my previous videos, x derivative is always 1, so x, the answer is x, because when we derivate x, we get 1. And when we derivate 2x, we get 2. The x gets cut off. I've explained to you how in the previous video, so 1. If it's just y equals 2, integrate 2 with respect to x, okay, 2x. That's all, because when we derivate 2x, we get 2. And now let's try a bit of complicated version of integration. Okay, now we are asked to integrate this. First step, use the symbol. And then find out x cubed. We need to do 1 by 1. First, x cubed. Add 1 to the exponent 4. And since there's nothing there, it's only a 1, we need to cut off there. So the fraction 1 over 4, x to the power of 4. The 4 and 4 get cut off, and 4 minus 1 gives you 3. Here, since it's x squared, add 1 to the exponent, which is 2 plus 1 equals 3. And since we don't want anything in front of the x, we need to cut it off completely. So that's a 1 over 3 x cubed, because and now for 5x, what did I tell you? Add 1. Since it's power 1 now, we need to add 1, so 5x to the power of 2. And then since we don't want 5 over 2 as since we don't want our answer to be 10x, we want it to be 5x. So we only want 5 as the value in front of the x when derivated. So we need to make it into a fraction, so the denominator gets cut off. 5x to the power of 2, forgive the space. So 5x. So therefore, dx with respect to x, since we're using x as our algebraic expression, so the integrated version of x cubed plus x squared plus 5x is 1 over x to the power of 4 plus 1 over 3 x cubed plus 5 over 2 x squared. And to test our answer, if we derivate this, you will get this as your answer. So derivation is the exact opposite of integration, and integration is the exact opposite of derivation. So to recap, if you want to integrate a function, you just have to think what function derivative will give you the question. Okay, so basically the way you have to look at it is, the question they give you on integration in your exam is basically the answer to a derivation question. Okay, so what function, like x squared, x cubed, 3x squared, what function derivative will give you that answer? And that is exactly how you integrate a function. I know some of you guys might be a bit like riled up and not understanding what I'm actually saying right now, but yeah, give this some time, because integration will only come after a while once you've practiced derivation. So if you're watching this video right now, it's best to have some knowledge about basic derivation, because without derivation you can't understand integration. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned to my website, maxforgeeks.wordpress.com, and thank you for watching.